Sometimes we fall in love with the wrong person. It's not always easy to admit, but it's a truth that we must face. We can become so blinded by our feelings that we ignore the signs that something is just not right. But what happens when we finally open our eyes and realize that we're in love with the wrong person? It can be a painful and confusing experience, but it's not the end of the world. In fact, it can be the beginning of a new chapter in our lives. In today's video, we're going to talk about the 7 signs you're in love with the wrong person. So without further ado, let's get started. Sign 1. You can't be yourself around them. Have you ever felt like you can't be yourself around someone you're supposed to love? It's a terrible feeling, like you're trapped in a cage, unable to express your true thoughts and feelings. You may feel like you have to put on an act or hide parts of yourself just to please them. This is one of the most obvious signs that you're in love with the wrong person. When you're with the right person, you feel free to be yourself. You don't have to hide anything or pretend to be someone you're not. You're able to express yourself honestly and openly without fear of judgment or rejection. But when you're with the wrong person, you may feel like you're walking on eggshells all the time. You may be afraid to speak your mind or express your true feelings. You may feel like you have to hide your true self in order to keep the peace. Feeling trapped is a terrible feeling, and it can be a sign that you're in love with the wrong person. It can make you feel suffocated and unhappy, and it can lead to resentment and bitterness. If you're feeling trapped in a relationship, it's important to recognize it and address it. You need to be honest with yourself and your partner about how you feel. You need to communicate your needs and boundaries clearly and assertively. It's not always easy to do this, but it's essential for your well-being and happiness. If your partner truly loves you, they will respect your boundaries and support your need for freedom and authenticity. Remember, being able to be your authentic self in a relationship is crucial for its success. You deserve to be with someone who loves and accepts you for who you are, without judgment or conditions. Don't settle for anything less than that. Sign 2. You're not a priority in their life. Picture this. You've been dating someone for a while now, and you're really starting to develop feelings for them. You're excited to see where this relationship could go, but there's just one problem. You're starting to realize that you're not a priority in their life. Maybe they're always canceling plans, or they don't seem to make time for you like they used to. In a healthy relationship, both partners should prioritize each other. They should make time for each other, and they should make each other feel valued and loved. But if you find yourself consistently being put second to other things in their life, it might be a sign that they're not the right fit for you. Now, I know this can be a tough pill to swallow. You might be thinking, but I love them and I want to make it work. And I understand that feeling, but here's the thing. If they're not making you a priority now, what makes you think that will change in the future? It's important to remember that you deserve to be with someone who makes you feel important and loved. You deserve to be with someone who values your time and your feelings. If you're constantly feeling like you're not a priority in their life, it's time to take a step back and reevaluate the relationship. Now, I want to be clear. There might be times when your partner has to prioritize other things in their life. Maybe they have a big work project, or they're dealing with a family emergency. And that's okay. But if you find that this is a consistent pattern, and you're always being put on the back burner, it's time to have a serious conversation with your partner. Remember, you are worthy of love and respect. Don't settle for someone who doesn't make you feel like a priority in their life. It might be tough to walk away, but in the end, you'll be glad you did. Sign 3. You feel insecure and anxious around them. Being around the wrong person can make you feel like you've lost a sense of yourself, your worth, and your security. It can lead to feelings of anxiety and depression, both of which can have negative impacts on your mental health. No one should have to live like this. We want to take this opportunity to start an important conversation about relationships and self-care. So let's talk about what it means to be in a healthy, supportive relationship. The first step is being able to trust your partner. If you don't feel safe, respected, and heard within your relationship, then it's time to reevaluate the situation. A healthy relationship should foster growth and connection with your partner and provide an environment of safety and security. Next, Make sure that you're investing in yourself as well as your relationship. Find hobbies or activities that empower you and give you a sense of purpose. You deserve to be in a relationship where you don't lose your identity. Instead, try to find someone who encourages personal growth and development. Finally, invest in relationships with people who understand and appreciate your needs and feelings. Everyone deserves to be in a relationship that cultivates love, respect, security, and understanding. Life is too short to be in an unhealthy relationship. If something doesn't feel right, speak up. It's always better to be alone than to be in an unhealthy relationship that makes you feel anxious, depressed, and insecure. You deserve to live your life with peace and joy. And that starts with finding a partner who values and respects you for who you are. So take a stand for yourself and find the right relationships that will help you reach your full potential. Sign 4. You're always making excuses for their behavior. Everyone has experienced the feeling of being in love, excited and exhilarated to be in a relationship with someone special. Unfortunately, sometimes this excitement can cause us to overlook our partner's shortcomings or bad behavior, making excuses for them and giving them a pass on things they should be held accountable for. Let me give you an example. Have you ever had a partner who thought it was okay to come home late without calling or letting you know? We might brush this off as them being busy with work or having a bad day. We make up excuses for their behavior, telling ourselves that it isn't really a big deal. Or maybe we let our partner walk all over us, not expressing our own needs and desires because we want to keep the peace. We might find ourselves sacrificing our values or beliefs just to make them happy. Again, we tell ourselves that it's okay and that our partner is worth the compromise. These are all signs that we're making excuses for someone, and it's important we learn how to recognize when we're doing this. It can be easy to get caught up in the feelings of being in love and blind ourselves. So take some time to think about if your partner's actions are truly acceptable, and if you're making excuses for them out of fear or unwillingness to stand up for yourself. Love can be beautiful, but it is important to remember your self-worth and not excuse behavior that goes against what you believe in. Sign 5. You feel like you're settling. Discuss how being in love with the wrong person can make you feel like you're settling for less than you deserve. Share stories of how this has affected people in the past. Encourage viewers to seek out relationships where they feel valued and appreciated. Sign 6. Ignoring red flags. We all want to find someone who loves us for who we are. We imagine finding that special person who will make us feel valued, accepted, and understood. But too often we ignore the warning signs that show up early in a relationship and choose to stay with the wrong person. Sometimes those subtle hints of trouble can easily be overlooked or dismissed as a bad day. But ignoring red flags in a relationship is a major mistake that could lead to being trapped in an unhealthy partnership. Common red flags may include possessiveness, lack of communication, or sudden changes in behavior. Sometimes these warning signs come in the form of controlling actions, such as insisting on knowing where you are at all times or expecting you to report back. Other times it might take shape as a lack of communication and meaningful dialogue. Whatever the sign, it's important to pay attention and take action when needed. Ignoring red flags is a dangerous game to play because it can lead to falling in love with the wrong person. This can be damaging, and damaging relationships can often leave scars that last long after the relationship has ended. That's why it's important to pay attention to red flags early on in order to save yourself from heartache down the road. Listening to your intuition can help you distinguish between harmless quirks and blatant red flags. Never be afraid to set boundaries or walk away if something doesn't feel right. Taking control of your own happiness means sometimes having the courage to say goodbye. Sign 7. You feel like you're the only one putting in the effort. It's a common problem. You feel like you're the only one putting in the effort to make your relationship work. You pour your heart and soul into your partner, hoping that it will be appreciated, but instead you get nothing back. It's an unbalanced dynamic, a one-sided relationship that can be both emotionally and physically draining. When one partner is seemingly doing all the work and not getting anything but constant criticism in return, the balance is off, and it can often lead to a lot of pain and disappointment. It's easy to become